I really believe if you really hone in on your message and you're really clear on what you do, that's where the magic is. Hello, welcome to Monetizing Mompreneurs podcast, where I take you behind the scenes with industry leaders, entrepreneurs, moms, working professionals, and amazing people pursuing their passions and going for their dreams. And I'm your host, Linda Mendable. By now, we're pretty much besties. And that's exactly how I'm going to be talking to you as a friend, as a biz bestie, because I just know how important that is to have those business conversations, especially when you're not in circles where you're having business conversations. I know when you're first starting on your journey, or even in the middle of your journey, you're really looking for community. And that's one of the reasons why I've developed Monetizing Mompreneurs is to develop that community feel, that community, and really highlight women in business. As a web designer, shoot, I want to make you shine. And I also want to be the go-to, your go-to for your web design needs. Of course, my episodes are a lot about mindset and inspirational stories to get you going because I feel as though a lot of times we stop in our journey because we think it's too hard. We think other people don't go through the hard things and maybe it's not for us. And I mean, there's plenty of kind of like stories of similar stories of like babies when they're getting ready to walk, they don't say it's not for them, they start walking. Well, I do believe that entrepreneurship is not for everyone. It really takes a certain mindset. And so, how can you develop that mindset in order for you to become an entrepreneur? One of the things that I realize, it's really about kind of like like really getting clear on like what's important to you, why you're doing what you're doing, because there are ups and downs. There's rough times and there's good times. There's that feast and famine. And you got to realize, why do you want to make this successful, right? Because there's sometimes that you're like, man, you're on top of the world. And you think that, shoot, there's nowhere else to go but continue to go up. And then sometimes reality hits, and there may be a period that there may be a drought period or no client period. And we all go through that. I think it's really especially heavy when you have a big team and you have to, you're paying other people as well, right? That's a lot of responsibility on your back because you're not just giving yourself an investment, but you're also investing in others to help you make your vision, your dream a reality, right? And so, really, I love in God's word, it talks about if you're faithful with the small, you'll be faithful with the big. So, how can you, in the current season that you're in, make use of what you currently have instead of it being a deterrent, actually being a superpower or actually being like a blessing in disguise? That's how I see each opportunity and each kind of setback. There's a blessing here. This is a blessing in disguise. I just have to figure it out. And so, if you have that mindset that you're in this place or in this season for a reason, then you start seeing the opportunities in a drought. You start seeing opportunities in a desert. You'll see the cactus. I hear if you're like stuck in the desert, a cactus is a good plant to eat. I don't know. Is it true? I don't know. Send me an email. But yeah, and so that's the thing. Like, can you see the opportunities in your current season? And that's what entrepreneurship, sometimes I do believe it's about, is kind of like being very resourceful and understanding your cash flow, really understanding your cash flow, because that's really kind of like the blood of your business and how you can keep that going and you can keep your business afloat, and also, whatever you're investing in, your investments afloat as well. And so that's really is the question as you pursue your endeavors. Now, one of the things that I started with is kind of like, okay, I know if I'm going to be doing entrepreneurship, I don't want it to be a deterrent to my family. I don't want to be a weight to my family because I'm putting in time. And, as much as I love design and I love social media and, I love monetizing mompreneurs as far as the community and the people and all the things, right? I still don't want it to be kind of like, you know, a weight on my side because of the bills I'm paying over it, right? All of the tools that I need. And so I done a lot of research on like what are the tools I need? I've asked a lot of questions like, man, because sometimes you see people and how are they doing that? And it's almost like they're untouchable, right? It's almost like you can't really reach, can't really comment to them how they're doing it. It may seem rude if you ask them, and I get it because I've been there. I've seen some people, especially with ads, right? I see some people do incredible ads. Um, and I sometimes wonder, like, man, how do they do that? And I actually have someone that's going to be on the show soon that I love her branding. I love the way she markets, and I can't wait till she comes on the show. So that's coming up soon. And I think you've probably seen her ads around. So, I'm always in awe. And anyways, we all are in that position that we're in on like, man, how do they do it? Or how are they doing certain XYZ? I've done ClickFunnels. I've checked out Go High Level. I'm doing Flowdesk. I've tried out ConvertKit. I've done WordPress. I'm a WordPress designer, switching over to Showit, and just because I love Showit and it encompasses WordPress as well. What? So I was like, no brainer as a designer. And, but I still am really fluent with WordPress, right? I can really do that. But in all of that, right, especially being a web designer, right, we have to understand funnels, right? Tripwires, why tripwires? And, we really got to be on the cutting edge on the trends and what's going on today, not just with social media, but with landing pages. Because what does social media do? It kind of points you to a landing page, right? Someone sends you, hey, join here, you subscribe to their email list, they send you an email, you click on a link, and you're going through a funnel, right? And I know maybe you have asked those questions like, how do people do those nurture sequences, right? Before their big launch for whatever it is that they're selling, or how do they do those tripwires and how did I get into their world, so easily and quickly, right? I don't know about you, but I do ask those questions if someone does a really great marketing campaign and and I love it and I'm like, wow, that's where it's at. But that's just me as a web designer because I'm always learning, I'm always researching, I'm always looking at the new trends and things like that. Now, right now, there's kind of like this fight with Go High Level and ClickFunnels, and there's something going on there. I don't know, through the grapevine. And all that to say is basically I have figured out that you can keep things simple. You don't need to invest in these super big, amazing tools like webinars, right? I know that I've gotten a lifetime plan on webinars, thinking that I would one day possibly do webinars, and I invested in that early on in my business. And guess what? I have not a single webinar. The things that you've seen and the people that have come into my world have not come into like those standard, I don't know, what are they called? Webinar Jam or any of those classic webinars where people have come into my world is basically just keeping things simple. I do things over Zoom and stream into my community. And I find that sometimes we want to get fancy, right? And there's a time for fancy. I really believe if you really hone in on your message and you're really clear on what you do, that's where the magic is at. I don't know if I've said this before in one of my episodes, but clarity is the thing. And so I really want you to take away from this episode is I want you to sit down and take a look at how you want your business to look because you can make it look however you want. Really question how much time do you want to put into your business? So, how do you really want your hours to look within your business? And if you happen to have a sheet of paper, because I know many of you may be driving, working out, or even cooking, because I know I'm always in the kitchen when I'm listening to a podcast. I want you to kind of like maybe think one day to sit down and ask yourself, okay, how many days do I really want to work within my business? And how much free time do I really want to have? right? And then you want to ask yourself, what is reasonable on how much do I need each month to just keep the business going, right? Like, what is your bottom dollar? I always like to look at the bottom dollar because that's kind of like, like the nitty gritty of stuff. And then, because you never want to hit that, what you want to hit is actually above that. But you want to look at what is your expense, your monthly expenses each month? Like, what is that monthly budget that you have in order to keep your business afloat, in order for you to keep your business continue to run? Next, what I've asked myself and what I want you to ask is how or what are the steps for you to get there? What do you need to do in order for you to get the hours that you want and the monthly income that you need each month? And that's one of the reasons why I also created a community and have a membership, because for me, I decided within my own community, is like, I know for me, I want to show up at least once a month within my Monetizing Mompreneur community. And in my Monetizing Mompreneur community, what I want to have is email templates, Showit templates, because Flowdesk came out with this new thing that you can actually have email templates, right? So for that funnel, a whole email sequences, whole email templates for that, right? Because in Monetizing Mompreneur Society, what I really want to encourage is collaborations, right? I really want us to collaborate with one another. And what better way to collaborate with is with bundles and coming together and having a space that someone is hosting a bundle and they're looking for a certain type of speaker and having those conversations within the society. Another thing is, I want you to be successful as you host your bundles and summits. So if you've never hosted a bundle or a summit, and if you wanted to, we also have the community for that. Now, a great perk within Monetizing Mompreneur Society is that you also get Showit templates, right? Email templates. And I also show you how to gain clients with challenges and also how to use marketing strategies. Really, I developed Monetizing Mompreneurs is for my one-on-one clients to transition them over and help them over into the society that they get, ongoing support from me when it comes to their marketing, right? And for me, one of the best and quickest way to help them on their marketing is helping them put together a community. You can't host a summit without first having a community, but you can host a summit, but then you have to build that community, and how you can build a community that is really around your business, right? Because you got to align yourself with the people that will continually bring you more people into your business as well. Like, it's kind of like, aligning yourself with complementary businesses, right? For me, as a web designer, I can align with a logo designer, or I can align with a brand designer, or I can even align with marketing strategist, or even a business coach that doesn't do web design, and I can align with those people, and boom, right? It helps my business go forward. And I can maybe do a package, right? Or a bundle with those types of people. So that's what I did, Monetizing Mompreneur Society. And it's also for the people maybe that are on the fence or don't have the budget to work with me one-on-one, or don't have the budget to invest in that website, right? You can get plugged into Monetizing Mompreneur Society, and I will be there once a month helping you, getting you the right tools and helping you like launch your business or continue to grow your business, right? And so that's really one of the endeavors in the society is. And so when I talk to you about the society, I'm not trying to sell you on the society. I'm just kind of like letting you in on the reason on why I have what I have within the society, and why the society, right? As far as, why I created it as well. Also, I created it not just to help support the people's, I'm for, but also to having a recurring income stream. It's a membership. And there's a monthly option. And right now, currently, there's a lifetime option. And I've made it that way because sometimes I love lifetime deals. So absolutely, I will do a lifetime deal, right? I don't know how long I will keep the lifetime deal. And it might be, and of course, it's still in beta. This June, it's going to be completely done. I've gotten feedback from the members and what people want within the society. And so my plan for it is that everything that needs to be in there will be in there by June. Now, of course, there's going to be other perks within it, and I'm still kind of like hashing that out. So I can't really reveal those secrets yet. But I want you to consider kind of like for me, in kind of like monetization, I like a sustainable flow of income, right? And for me as well is kind of like that retention. Like if you're going to do a membership, you also got to think about the retention, right? Like what is going to make people stay? That is the question that you need to ask yourself if you're going to look into like a recurring income stream model. So what is it that's going to make people stay? I do encourage a recurring income stream because it doesn't take away from your time. Does that make sense? Kind of like you have a recurring income stream, you choose, how you want to develop that type of community. Sometimes people just do it that they're not even in there, right? And for me, I like to be in there once a month. And then the other perks are just bonuses, right? Consider that. And then for, let's say, if you want to kind of like have more of like those bonuses, right? Those bonus months where you have VIP days. If you haven't heard of it or what a VIP day is, where you condense your services into like a day or 2 days or 3 days type of span, and you complete it within that time span instead of the standard, like maybe it takes a month to do this, or it takes a week, or so on and so forth. So I would definitely consider it's kind of like trying to figure out how you can put that VIP model into your business as well, or having a way that you have packages that can facilitate those bigger streams of income that can help you stay afloat within your business. So it could be maybe looking at your current services and seeing that, 2 weeks of work for, $200, maybe not, it's not where it's at. And maybe you need to increase your price rates. And how does that look like? You got to really do things that are worth, like, is this worth my time? And is it going to grow the business or hinder me as a person because it's taken away from my personal income because you're investing in the business instead of the business being invested in you? So really considering where you're putting your money. So once you figured out how much time you want to spend in your business, once you figure out who you want to serve and all of that jazz, then you can figure out like your cash flow and your budget. And then you decide like, okay, how can I make this plan in action, right? How can I take this idea of only being in my business, XYZ hours a week and having this much of free time and having this type of income coming in? What I always recommend that my clients do is build out your community. I mean, imagine you building out a community that you can launch to, right? If you have a special going on, you can launch to them. A lot of people build out their communities with their emails, right? Their email is their community, right? Your email list is the people within your community. And then how you can facilitate more, engagement and stuff like that, depending on the type of business that you have. For me, I focus on service providers, which is coaches, content creators, course creators, service providers, right? Bookkeepers, fitness, all of those people I have worked with. And really, I tailor my services to help them with their marketing. So if you fit in any of that, I want you to consider kind of like, how can you create a community with the people that you're attracting? And it's really going to work for your good. And especially if you utilize a Facebook group. I know, like, the reason why I laugh at that is because I have gotten some resistance from a Facebook group. But anyways, this was the mini series that I'm putting together in these next couple of weeks. So I hope to see you next week. Let me know what you think. And if you want me to touch on anything, please send me an email because I'm actually now loving my email. I've done a couple of things that I absolutely love email, and I'm in there. And yeah, send me an email or send me a DM. I'm on Instagram /Linda Mendable. And yeah, I hope to see you next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have a chance, stop by the website at lindamendable.com and join us over at Monetizing Mompreneurs Facebook group. I just want to say again, thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening.